Let's go. Or hey, let's stay. Please stay, stick around. Will you be my neighbor? Hello, I'm Doc Coyle. This is the X-Man podcast. And guys, it's been one hell of a week. Kind of have a bit of an announcement. I don't know if it's an announcement. It is what it is. Myself and my girlfriend, we caught COVID-19 this last week, and it fucking sucked. I am not gonna lie. And and I haven't been public. I haven't made like a public post about it, partially because I think, HIPAA, guys, just privacy as I'm talking about it here. No, I'm just kidding. No, I just don't want to make like a big show out of it, because I think it has been politicized so much. So it's like, hey, I'm saying this to make a point. It's not even about any of that. But I can say, what I felt, was intense fever, really intense body chills. Just freezing, no matter how many blankets you put on you, body aching, terrible headache, cough, and for me, that lasted about 2.5 days. And then you kind of have residual effects. And my girlfriend got hit a lot harder. Her fever and stuff lasted several days longer. And it's like, you have periods where you're like, I think I'm dying. And where, you just physically just can't get up. And I remember I took a shower. I got up one morning to take a shower, and it was like I climbed Everest. And, and pretty sure, where it germinated from, pun intended. And it was like from one little get together with, maybe like 8 people or something like that. And pretty sure almost every person that was there got it, which goes to tell you how quickly this thing can spread if you're not smart. And so it's going to, kind of, one way to reinvigorate, your seriousness about this thing is to have this happen. I wouldn't really wish this on anyone. It's really terrible. And I can imagine, someone who's older, who has some health conditions, how it can really do some damage or kill you. It's no joke, man. There were moments, my girlfriend, she was legitimately scared, about what she was dealing with. So it's the real deal. I did not want to get this. Luckily, I haven't lost my sense of taste or smell. But we've literally been stuck. I've been stuck in the house. I only left today for the first time to get another test, a follow-up test, and there have been some residual effects. After the fever breaks, you're kind of, you still feel sick and tired, but it's mainly just kind of some sinus stuff, and cough still remains. And, you're not well, but you've kind of gotten through the worst of it. Hopefully, keep fingers crossed. And in some respects, maybe I would be, I guess, relieved if I knew it wouldn't come back, but there's conflicting studies about whether you can get reinfected and all that stuff. So it is what it is. Just want to let you guys know, don't get it if you can avoid it. It like I said, I've been in the house for a week, and probably stuck here for the rest of the week. And a lot of that, I was literally stuck to like one side of the house because I didn't want to harm anybody before we realized that my girlfriend was sick. So anyway, one other thing just want to talk about real quick. You guys probably saw that Tommy, singer for my band, came out as a Trump supporter, and a lot of people, I get these things happen. I get a lot of texts or people, at me on stuff, and they want my reaction, and they kind of want, what do you think about this, Doc? And all I'll really say, and I kind of, make this sentiment in my conversation with Jose, is that, I just truly believe you have to give people the freedom to have different opinions and think differently, even if you disagree. And you guys know what I think about things, so it would be no surprise to know that we have different opinions about politics and the politicians we support. For me, when it comes to music and how I relate politics to music, my main thing is I want to try to avoid letting my politics turn anyone away from music, or make a fan less, make them less, want them to enjoy the music less. And so I think, there's some negative impacts in that regard, where maybe some people are maybe not feel as included in our music. And I think that's unfortunate, but like I said, I can't, you gotta let people express themselves. And I really think when you go the other way, and I think if it's like the entire kind of left-wing mob ganging up on someone for having a different opinion, I think that's what actually attracts people to want to be a Trump supporter, is by thinking that the entire society is telling them you're only allowed one option. And especially if you're a minority, like Chelsea Handler came out this week. Oh, 50 Cent, you can't vote for Trump. You're black. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. And it's condescending, to say you have to do this because of your identity, as if for every person, their race or their sexual preference, or orientation, or their gender is like the most important thing about them. They get to decide that. You don't get to decide that for them. And, Sarah Silverman had a great quote this week talking about Christian Piccolini, I think that's his name, a guy who used to be a neo-Nazi, who converts neo-Nazis into being, to getting away from that. And she was saying how, like, what those young men got from a neo-Nazi group or a KKK group was love and acceptance. And so when you shun people who possibly disagree with you, they're going to go where the love is. And if you're going to diss them, then they're just going to go find darker places that will accept them. So, and by the way, and I don't mean to put that analogy on like, hey, Tommy, you're in this dark place, that kind of dark place, in terms of that. But it is the idea of, like on the same day he came out with that, there was an article with Mike Patton talking about, how I'm not listening to Trump, I'm listening to Dr. Fauci. And John Campbell from Lamb of God had a thing, saying something bad about Trump. And that's the more common opinion amongst the entertainment community at large. And yeah, I'm more on side with that, but I do think you gotta let people express themselves and be who they want to be and figure out a way to coexist in that, even if I disagree. So that's really how I stand on it. And it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. We all got to live out here. Anyway, hopefully that was satisfactory and not too, political. Anyway, we do have a show sponsor this week, y'all. It's a band. They're called Deadcheck. Kind of like that name. They're Southern California based, and we're going to play a track entitled Genocide Winds. Check it out.
Revolution now begins, the revolution for imprint. Let it
So that was Deadcheck with their track Genocide Winds. And it's Deadcheck, it's one word. And I thought that was a banger of a track. That thing was really cool because it had this kind of black metal extreme thing happen, but they didn't forget to have some hooks and it had some variants. And yeah, I thought that was great. And I was checking out the band's sites. So it's Facebook, just at Deadcheck, and their Instagram is Deadcheck_official. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about that song, because I was looking at their stuff and I don't see an album out or coming out or anything. So hopefully they have some stuff going on, because I think whoever's important who listens to this is probably going to want to check this band out. So that was recorded by the band and also Mick Kenny of Arnold Knockroth, who's worked with tons of bands. So it obviously sounds great, and mastered by the great Peter Wickers of Soilwork and X-Men alumni. And the band features former members of Empyrean Throne, Sicarius, Crawling Through, Tartarus, and Darkstone. So please check them out, support the band. You can drop them an email too at deadcheckband@gmail.com. Write them some fan mail. Kick it old school. Tell them Doc Coyle sent you, and that the X-Men fans support the bands that support the show. If you would like to see your band, or hear for that matter, featured on the program, you can send me a message at the xmanpodcast@gmail.com, and that's EX, or slide in the Doc Coyle DMs. We'll make it happen. Alrighty then. We do have a guest. We have a very special guest. His name is Jose Mangin. Again, I feel like he needs no introduction. If you know metal in the American sphere, he is, I guess he's kind of like a metal celebrity to a certain degree. But yeah, you know him and love him from SiriusXM, satellite radio, Liquid Metal, Octane. He's hosted, I can't think of how many different festivals and shows and cruises. And, he's involved with Affliction clothing and does a lot of events. They do these amazing taco nights. Well, they used to before the plague ended all our fun, and he does those in Orange County and has great shows and showcases. And he's just been someone that's been a part of my life in the heavy music world for years. And, and his kind of unrelenting positivity, goodwill, and just pure passion for the culture and the music and helping bands it's really inspiring. And, like I said, weird way, I feel like our journeys has been tied to each other, because he came to California not too long after I did. And that's just great, because, when you move and you're like, you miss those familiar faces, it's a really wonderful thing. So he was as you'll hear, he was very gracious to actually record the conversation for me at his studio. So it sounds really pristine. I'm gonna have to steal some tips because it sounds so great. I'm a little jealous. I'm like, I need some of that magic over here, even though we're doing our best. But anyway, it's a long intro. I love Jose. I think you guys are gonna love this conversation. So please check out my conversation with the incredible Jose Mangin. So here we are. I'm on what I would say like an away game where I have my main man, Jose Mangin, on the X-Men podcast, but I'm using his equipment, which I've never done. I'm not, one of these professional people with studios. I roll up with my, suitcase of bag of tricks.
That is professional though, Doc.
Well, it is. I do have good gear, but it's a privilege when I just get to roll up and just.
It's easy. Well, we have the equipment here. We got the board. We got the nice microphones. It's kind of comfortable. So, and I haven't really had. I don't think I've had anybody here, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, let me think. Just my friends.
No interviews.
No interviews like this.
Yeah.
I'm trying. No, I just had friends here.
Yeah.
Because we work out right next door, but I haven't had anybody like on the microphone except for like a friend doing a quickie break or something, but nothing like this. And this is cool. And
so are you comfortable being on the other side,
being interviewed.
I like it, dude. It's different, but I like it. And you're my friend, dude. And I have a lot of respect for you. And I love what you're doing out on socials and beyond. And so this is a cool thing. Yeah, but I love it, man. It's always cool to have the tides turn. It's not often. After the thousands and thousands of interviews, I've only probably been interviewed, less than 50, maybe less than 30 times.
I heard you on Josta, and that was great.
Yeah, Josta, Jericho. Those were like some of the first ones. I did D. Snyder's as well over the years. I just did Rob Flynn. But I haven't done a lot of podcasts, though. I haven't really done a lot.
Well, for me, it's more, we've just been friends for a really long time. So for me, this show is very personal. It's all about the relationships. But also, you're someone that has been kind of instrumental in like my whatever success I have had. I feel like you've kind of been this like shepherd leading me through the
the fucking
the
metal
desert.
Moses, man. Fuck yeah, man.
But we go back. Like, it's funny. I literally can't remember when we first met. Like, was it at Sirius?
I think it was. It was when I was probably just a fan.
Yeah,
I would say of your band and seeing you at shows. I think you probably hung out at WSOU shows and some of the stuff. I mean, I moved to New Jersey City in January of 2000.
And you're from Arizona, right?
Arizona.
And did you go right from there, from Arizona?
No, I went from Memphis, Tennessee to Jersey City.
Were you in like school there? Or?
A pharmacy school. I went to grad school in Tennessee for 2 years. I was out there.
Wow.
So a year in graduate school and then a year teaching chemistry at the University of Memphis and working on the radio and working at a Mexican restaurant. Well, I mean, I talk about it, but I don't talk about it that often. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for my education, seriously, Doc, as diehard of a metalhead as I am, and I fucking bleed and smoke it and drink it all the time, metal. But if it wasn't for my education and, going to college in Arizona, starting college radio there, going to graduate school, metal was never a career option. I mean, it was a dream, but it was never like, oh yeah, I'm going to go
But what was the dream?
Pharmacy. Being a doctor.
But I mean, you said metal was the dream.
Well, metal was a dream, but it wasn't.
To do what in metal?
I don't. To be Ricky Rackman.
Really? Okay.
To be the Headbangers Ball host. Yeah. To be because that's all I had to look up to. I didn't have any national media metal person to look up to. Ricky Rackman was my fucking lord.
Are you buddies with him?
I love him. Yes, of course. Good friends. And you know what? Every time I see him, and in public or not, I tell him how much I love him, how much I respect him, and how he influenced me. And he gets embarrassed. And he's like, dude,
he's
Jose,
a humble guy, though.
Oh, he is very humble. But I say it, and I'll do it on front of big stages, too, because we've introduced bands together on stage before. And I call him out. And I'm all about paying it forward, saying what's in my heart, and not holding back. I feel like it's just been better just to say thank you to certain people that have been instrumental in your life. And I've been a fan of you. And then when you started Bad Wolves, I was like, I'm going to fucking support this dude. Out of all the guys in the band, I've known you the longest.
Yeah.
I've known you from way back in Jersey. And I think I did, going back to your original question, see, I'm a tangent fucking guy. But I think I probably met you at a show in Jersey in 2000, 2001.
It's got to be something like that. But
when did God Forbid start?
We started playing together in 96, but we weren't called God Forbid yet. So we didn't actually become God Forbid till like 98 when our bass player joined. We did an EP called Out of Misery, which was ultimately like re-released in this Sickness and Misery album down the line. But yeah, pretty much 98, put out, did a record called Reject Sickness 99, got signed in 2000.
Yeah,
and
dude,
then
I met you then because I remember playing God Forbid when I started programming for the metal station. We were playing shit from the first album right away. And I loved it that you guys were from Jersey too. I'm always, and then I had that Dingbats fucking night in Jersey. I just love supporting wherever I live, wherever I am, supporting that scene. And Jersey was a big fucking place for me for 15 years. And that's why I feel like God Forbid .coil is a personal tie right there, man.
But it's also ironic that we also moved to LA basically around the same time too.
Yeah, well, you moved, I think, before I did.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I came out in July of 15 with my family, and I think you were here before. Yeah, but yeah, dude, I love living on the fucking West Coast. I will never move.
Yeah.
We just bought a house 2 months ago in Costa Mesa.
Congrats.
And thank you, brother. And it's Melissa and I are so happy. I'm not moving. I mean, that's it. Like it was, we did everything ourselves, and I'm laying roots laying big time.
Well,
your
energy, you have West Coast energy. It's just, it's the vibe.
Well, I'm from Arizona. Even when I was in New York, people would always say, "You're not from here, are you?
You're too happy. You're just smiling too much."
People would say, "Go back to where you're from." You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some of the New Yorkers that were pissed off because I'd be like, "Hey, dude, hey," you know, like, "You're not from here. Go back to the West Coast," type of shit. People in New York are brutal. You know that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if anything, it's kind of exemplary of like, you know, that idea, like if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah, I love that.
So that just for you to not only go there, but also thrive, move up, make roots, become part of a community. And that's like, you know, not many people can say they've done that, you know? So it's not like you went back with your tail between your legs. You went back kind of with the championship belt.
I love that, dude. And it's a very true saying. And my wife, Melissa, is a testament to that. You know, she killed it in New York with her retail experience. She's a district manager of stores and companies and stuff. So she killed it in New York. And New York was really awesome for me as well, being 15 years at the time when I moved from SiriusXM. Yeah, I did come out here with a nice, I felt awesome. I felt like, fuck yeah, I'm going to move way faster here than people that are here in California. Yeah. You know, I mean, people in New York.
Well, it teaches you hustle though.
Oh,
New York
big
teaches
time.
you, you know, because it's a grind. It's, you know, there's a certain, like if you don't do the right thing, then you're not paying rent.
Yeah. Or you get trampled on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no, New York, dude, I was the fastest speed walker this side of the Mississippi, man. No one can fuck with me. When I would walk through Times Square from Port Authority to the McGraw-Hill building, I would cut through that fucking Times Square tourists like Barry fucking Sanders, dude. Doc, you would be proud of me, man. And sometimes in my Mexican cowboy boots and my fucking flip-flops, so gross. I used to wear flip-flops in New York City all the time. Yeah, dude. It was, it was. I did it for years and years.
How do you go from graduate school and you're looking at being as a pharmaceutical professional to being a DJ on a new technology, not even, you know, something beyond radio? Like, how does that even get on your radar?
It's a really cool story, man. But it started when I was 18 and I was at the University of Arizona, a freshman there. I just came from Douglas, Arizona, which is a tiny town on the border of Arizona and Mexico, on the southeast corner of Arizona. And that's where I was raised. I went to school in Tucson, U of A, Wildcats, 97, basketball national champions. Come on, Doc, you know about
Damon
that
Stoudemire?
Stoudemire came after that. It was Sean Elliott. No, it was Stoudemire. You're right.
See, Doc remembers
sorry. Sean Elliott
was Richard Jefferson on that team?
Yes, he was.
See, I got good ass memory.
Oh, damn. Miles Simon.
Oh, damn, yeah.
And Lute Olson, by the way, he just passed away.
Oh, wow.
A few weeks ago, man. He was a god of Arizona. Shout out to Lute. But yeah, I went to the University of Arizona and I was taking Spanish guitar class. Oh, wow. I was the bass player. I still play, and I just wanted to take classical guitar for my right hand because I played with my fingers as the bass player. And my guys in my band were telling me, like, hey, you should take a class there. I was like, oh, that's fucking kind of cool. So my freshman year, college, playing first couple of weeks, this guy comes over to me and was like, hey, are you into metal? And I was playing Metallica. I had long-ass fucking hair, a fucking crazy thick-ass mustache. And I was like, what do you think, dude? You know, playing fucking Blackened. And then the guy's like, hey, I'm the music director of the radio station here. We don't have a metal show. I mean, have you ever thought about being a metal? I was like, I'm not a DJ, you know, I'm a metalhead, you know what I mean? I didn't even cross my mind. And then he kept talking to me every class and he kept being cooler to me. And then I was like, all right. And then one day he was like, just come over, just look at the radio station, come by, meet some people. And I was like, all right, I will. And it was in the basement of the student union, tucked away in the corner, in the student union. And you didn't even know it was there. And you could have been a janitor's closet. And it was fucking camp student radio. I remember walking in, Doc, and it was a narrow, long kind of office section that they built, covered in posters. Ceiling, the walls, the desks and stickers.
What kind of posters and stickers?
Rage Against the Machine. Oh. I fucking saw Korn, a lot of alternative bands, record labels, indie stuff, you know, things that I don't even know. But I saw Rage. And I saw Korn, and I was like, oh, shit. What?
I can be here.
This is like my room. And then he introduced me to a few people, and that was it. I started the University of Arizona's first college or metal show at that station.
What time slot did you have?
I had a 1 hour show. It changed a bunch.
But usually they'll put you on like Saturday at midnight.
No, I had like an afternoon. No, they were actually really cool to me because they wanted to have a metal show, but they wanted one because they had people asking for one.
Did people listen to it?
It was a half a watt station, and it was AM, and it was only for the students on the campus.
Okay, so pretty limited.
Very, very limited. But we were on Tucson Cablevision Channel 61. So when I, for years, would advertise and promote my show, it was watching regular Tucson Cablevision, and Channel 61 was the U of A announcements channel. And it just had the audio of our radio station, but it had announcements scrolling about the different clubs or whatever. But the audio was ours. So people in Tucson, if they had Tucson Cablevision, could hear my radio show. So that's how I did it for 4 years, was like that. And that's how I met a lot of people in the industry. I met a lot of people. I used to call people that we still work with today that are still in the business. Muncie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Dudes like that.
Syndicate.
Syndicate. Well, it was called something else back then. But McGathy was around. I mean, all the labels and stuff. But I remember when I used to report my spins and my plays, I would call record labels and I would sing songs to them. They'd be like, "Oh, so what'd you play this week?" And I'd be like, "Oh, no." And I would sing it on the phone. They'd have to guess, "Oh, you played that song?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I would do the next one. So that's how I developed a relationship with the people. So, okay, 4 years, I go to graduate school. My whole time in college, I knew that I wanted to be a pharmacist. That's what I was taking classes for. I excelled in organic chemistries and fucking lab and lecture class, dude. Straight A's. That's one of the hardest classes as an undergraduate when you're going on to medical school, pharmacy school. It's like the weed out class. Okay. So I got straight A's, went to University of Tennessee, College of Pharmacy, Medicine, and Dentistry was in Memphis, but the main campus was in Knoxville. And that's where Peyton Manning won the championship the first year that I was there with the Volunteers.
You're like a rabbit's foot, man. Where are you?
Fucking A, dude. Yeah, because Arizona won the basketball championship, and then the next year when I was graduate school freshman in Tennessee, Peyton Manning took the Volunteers to the championship game, I think it was whatever the fucking main game was.
I don't remember.
So there you go. But then I was there, and I was going to pharmacy school, and I got a job at the FM rock station because of my contacts in college radio. I was able to get a job in promotions, helping out the promotions department. The program director said I wasn't good enough to be on air. I gave him a college air check tape. It was bad. And then he was like, "No, never. But you can help in the marketing and promotions department." So I would drive the van, clean up, set up, do shit like that. And then one day, a DJ called out overnights, 12 to 6, Friday and Saturday night. And the guy called out on that Friday evening. And then the music director, Dave Clapper, asked me, do you want to fill in tonight? And I was like, "Dude, but boss said no." And he was like, "I got it. Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking do it." And then I did my first FM radio show when I was like 21, 22.
What was the format?
It was active rock.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I would not touch anything that wasn't fucking rock and heavy rock, bro. I would never touch anything, Doc, that's not like that. So it was a great active rock station at the time, no longer around. But so I did my show, and 3 hours in, the program director, production director, and music director were at a nearby bar drinking. They came by at 3:30 in the morning. They came into the studio. They were like looking at me all pissed off, and I was like, "Oh shit." My very first shift, I was halfway through it. They walk in, they were like, "Dude, great job, Jose. You sound good." They made it all. And I was like, "Oh, fuck." And then that was it. They used me for fill-ins. And I eventually started a 2-hour metal show called Beyond the Pit in Memphis, tri-state area, Arkansas, Mississippi. Pretty big signal. And I did that Saturday nights from midnight to 2 a.m. And then I did the rest of my shift for 4 hours till 6 a.m. and still going to pharmacy school.
And somewhere during that, you're like, "I think I want to do this DJ thing."
I wasn't getting paid really any money, and it was just for fun. It was fun. I would do it for nothing. I was doing it for nothing.
So did you actually become a pharmacist?
No, because I went a year to school, and then I had to go. It was okay. So what happened is that in that first year, I had won a Album Network Metal Director of the Year award. Remember Album Network? It was a trade magazine.
Not really, but
it's like FMQB, Album Network. It was like an old school trade magazine that radio stations would give their spins to, and their ads, and people and record labels and industry people would contribute.
I'm sure I've seen it, but
it's old school. Yeah. How old are you?
I'll be 40 in like.
All right, I'm 43. So there you go. And then so I won an award, and then I got a job offer to work in New York City at TVT Records.
Okay.
So that's when at that same time.
To do what? Radio?
To be a record label promotion dude.
Gotcha.
For metal. For people like me, metal directors at FM stations, or college metal directors like I was in Tucson. So I was hired to pimp Seven Dust and Nothing Face. They had just signed Nothing Face. I fucking love Nothing Face. And I love your interview, by the way, with Tom Maxwell.
Thank you.
Great job, dude. I love him so much. I'm glad that he was the first to speak out with what's happening with the band and everything.
Yeah,
really
listen,
cool.
I had no idea that was gonna happen, and he just, a lot of times I talk to people on my show, where you realize like they're not really talking to anybody, and so they kind of sometimes they just have a lot of stuff to get off their chest.
Yeah, it's good,
and it's I could tell for him, I had Rich Ward on the previous week, where they were just kind of eager to like open up about stuff, and it was great, and I get really almost worried sometimes because. I don't want to be a news hound or a headline chaser.
That's the same thing happens to me all the time.
And which I know some shows do the opposite. They're trying to get that stuff.
They want the clickbait.
Yeah, and I'm, I don't know. I'm just very protective over the people that I have on the show because I want them to trust me. And I just and he's just a good dude and someone I've just looked up to for so long. And in that period, I feel like was just a really special time for heavy music. I mean, you had that kind of world of the Seven Dusts and Nothing Faces, but you had this whole extreme metal thing going on and the hardcore thing and the Swedish metal thing and the new metal thing, stuff was blown up at radio. It was there were so many, just burgeoning scenes all happening at the same time. And then on top of it, then you have the internet and downloading and this whole, it was very explosive and
Nothing Faced still to this day is one of the standout bands of that time.
So good.
I mean, they're better than fucking bands today, and a big part of that is Tom and his right hand. Fuck, what was that? Oh, so yeah, TBT. So then that's when I had a half a year left in Memphis, so I got a job. I did not go to my second year of pharmacy school because I knew that my life was changing because I was going to move to Jersey. But I gave myself some time to do that.
Well, here's the thing, though. Just from the outside looking in, record labels do not pay entry level people very much money.
Oh, it was poverty level.
But pharmacists can actually make a very nice living.
Oh, dude.
So that's a pretty big, kind of sacrifice.
I'll tell you, there was it's like that Stairway to Heaven Led Zeppelin song, one of my favorite bands, when there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Yeah. So I got to a fork in my life where I had to make a decision, continue pharmacy school or pursue music and that I never thought was really possible. My dad, who was 49 when I was born, Army veteran, Korean War, white, French, Irish dude from Chicago, very educated, politician, I had a family before my mom, American family, 6 kids. Met my mom in Mexico and had 2 kids. He had 8 kids. So he was very much teaching me education, essay writing, geography, things like that. Instead of playing ball or guitar or anything with me, he was older. Yeah. So I had a conversation with my dad, and he was like, I told him what was up, what the decision was, and he told me a story that when he was young, wanted to be an attorney, but because of pressure from the family and because his family was military as well, he joined the Army. Didn't know the Korean conflict was about to start. Then went out to Korea, and his whole life changed. Alcoholism.
Of course. It's devastating.
Disability. He was hurt. Shrapnel blowing up in his eyes.
My grandfather went to Korea.
So it was pretty fucked up. And so my dad came back like fucked up and lost his family, and that meant my mom. So, but my dad talking to me, telling me this stuff, he said, I wanted to be an attorney. I joined the Army, and I regretted it ever since. Every day I would wake up regretting that decision, and I wish I never made it. And I was like, whoa, my mind was fucking blowing because my dad never talked to me in this way. It was always fucking school, school, school. Come on, you're doing it. You're fucking doing it. And then he told me this, and he was like, I don't want you to regret any decision, but especially this one when you're older. You need to do this. You've always been into heavy music since you were in kindergarten, since I was a little fucking kid, obsessed with metal, but it was never a job choice. And then he said, you have to do this. And then with that, I was like, done. My dad he solidified it, and I was like, I'm off. So then I went to Jersey working for Poverty Level, but it was the most I ever made at that time because I never made shit. And then I worked for a few months, and that's when I got a call from the alternative director at the time, Jerry Rubino at Sirius Satellite Radio, and he wanted a bunch of product from TVT, like fucking 50 albums for the back catalog. They were building the channels at the time. And I was like, whoa, dude, 50 fucking albums? Like, whoa, this is a lot, dude. Like, who are you? What is this? And he was like, Sirius Satellite Radio. And I was like, I don't know what is that?
Brand new.
It was not even out at the time. This was 2000, the summer of 2000. And he was telling me about it. And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to get approval. This is fucking kind of crazy. He was like, I'll send you some information in the mail. In the mail. Email was working, but it
was new.
It was new. And I got a pamphlet, one of those fold out pamphlets, you know, they're like thin and you can open it up and it's like folds out. Yeah. So color, nice color, thick, you know, real nice. And I remember reading it on the PATH train back to Jersey City from New York City one night. And I swear, Doc, I looked at it, dude. And I was looking at all the fucking science and all the science behind it. I was like, oh, shit.
You're a science guy.
Yeah. I was like, look at the fucking satellites, the shit, the NASA space fucking people and all. What the fuck? The guy that put people on the moon was a part of this SiriusXM team. And it was like, all right. And then I read about the executives that were there. I was like, oh, shit. It's a bunch of cool people, you know? All right. Looks pretty legit. And then I saw the channel lineup, a couple sections in. And then I was going through, I was like, oh man, whoa, heavy metal 24/7. And that's when I fucking literally shit my pants, dude. I think I had to take a shit. Something came out on the PATH train. I swear, a little turtle head came out. It just like peeped his head out and went back in. And I was freaking out. The next morning, I called Jerry. I was like, dude, I'll send you doubles of anything you want. Who is the rock guy? Who do I talk to? Who do I fucking... Dude, I was freaked. I couldn't even fucking talk. Who do I talk to? And then he was like, dude's name is Don K, and gave me his email. I fucking wrote him a fucking long ass email, super long, something that I probably would never read today. Something so long. And I just said how I live, breathe, and shit metal music. And he wrote me back, and I invited him to a Nashville Pussy concert at Irving Plaza because Nashville Pussy was a band that we just signed at TVT at the time. And they were putting out a new album, and I invited him over, and he agreed to meet me. He wrote me an email saying, you're crazy. I'll see you at the show. And like out of my fucking, huge email, it was 2 sentences. I met him at the show. He found out that I wasn't crazy. He liked me. And then he invited me to the studios. And then I had memorized the brochure, Doc. I'm such a nerd, dude. I was in the lobby. You've been there, New York City, McGraw-Hill building. They were just putting up the glass walls. So it was still plastic, walls in a lot of places, still building that new headquarters there. And the head of music programming, an Italian lady, Maria Carciti, walked down the hallway against the windows looking down to 49th Street. And I went up to her. I memorized her from the brochure. I knew who she was. So I went up to her and I said, hey, what's up, Maria? Nice to meet you. My name's Jose Mangin. And she was like, who are you? How do you know who I am? And I was like, I memorized the brochure. And she started laughing. And then she asked me, where are you from? And I said, I'm border from Arizona and Mexico. She was like, sabe en español? And I started talking in Spanish, and she started talking in Spanish with me. She asked me about Spanish rock bands. I started fucking listing off Spanish rock bands. And she said, a couple minutes talking to her, she was like, you're perfect. And I said, for what? She was like, I'm going to talk to Don, and I'm going to talk to Don's boss after your visit today. And I was like, oh my God. Maria, like, okay, cool, like fucking that's how it happened. And then 2 weeks later, they offered me double what I was making at TVT, and I was only at TVT for 6 months. Yeah. They had moved me out from Memphis to Jersey City. Barely, they didn't pay much, but they did. And then I gave my month notice at TVT in the summer of 2000. And my last week at TVT, Nothing Face, Violence, their third album, hit #1 all over the charts for the metal charts. #1 album, and that was me leaving TVT.
Wow.
And I remember being at Sirius in the beginning when we were first starting the company, and Steve Gottlieb, who was in charge of TVT, he hated me because I left. He was so pissed off at me. He physically threw a tape at my face, trying to fucking hurt me. And it was fucking kind of crazy, dude. I was like, this fucking man just threw a tape at my face. And I tried to like catch it like a smartass, and it was fucking, it was fucking pressure. And then he was telling me that fucking company's gonna be around for a fucking few months. You're fucking stupid. You're an idiot. He sent a cease and desist letter to Sirius saying that we could not play any TVT bands on Sirius satellite radio.
Jesus
and there was a
Christ.
meeting about it.
So what was he?
He was the head. He was the head of TVT.
Was he the owner? He just
Owner.
ran it. Okay.
Yeah.
But so what happened to that guy?
All right. So here's what we did.
Sounds like that's a recipe to like not do well in the music industry.
He's disappeared. He's ghosted. I don't know where he is. He
terrible.
doesn't have any company or anything. And he was an asshole to a lot of people. But so then he did that, and then sent this letter that we couldn't play. And then I remember my boss saying, "Oh, we're gonna just drop everything, drop all of the bands, and fuck them." And I was like, "No." And I made a plea in this fucking meeting with all the program directors, and I said, "No. These artists, it's not their fault that this dude's an asshole. Like, no, I'm not going to stop playing Seven Dust. I'm not going to stop playing Nothing Face. You think I'm going to fucking stop playing these bands?" And they were like, "You really feel strongly?" I was like, "Dude, please, guys, no." And then we didn't. We kept on playing.
Can they
shit.
do that?
No, because we're paying licensing fees.
Yeah.
So we're paying royalties, a lot of money.
Yeah.
With Spotify.
Oh, trust me, I know. I got the Sound Exchange checks.
All right. Where's my fucking tequila bottle, motherfucker? You guys owe me a lot, Bad Wolves. But
well, actually, I haven't got no Bad Wolves Sound Exchange money, but God forbid I have.
Oh, there you go. Good. Well, that's us then.
So I do owe you some tequila, probably a few cases.
Good. Oh shit. Good. I've heard. You know what, Doc, dude? The first person to tell me, I don't talk about this either, but the first person to tell me thank you, like a real thank you, because of their royalty checks. And I never fucking knew. I never knew that all of the airplay for years and years and years was making money for bands. And Alex Lopez from Suicide Silence, I was visiting the West Coast one time, and he came up to me at a show, maybe at the Whiskey. And he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey, Alex, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, man, thank you, dude. Seriously. Thanks for, playing my band." I'm like, "Hey, dude, of course, man. I fucking love Suicide Silence. It's all good." And he was like, No. Dude, like, I make money and stuff." And I was like, "Oh, I know. I mean, we hope sell albums and tickets to your shows and, merch and shit." You know what I mean? I was just like, indirectly. And he was like, No. We make checks. And I was like, What do you mean? Like, I had no idea, dude.
You didn't realize they were paying royalties.
No, but I didn't know how much.
Yeah.
But later on, I found out that we do pay the most.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. And Alex was and he was, maybe 4 people since then have thanked me for that, like that. But that's not a lot, because there's probably a lot of people making money.
Well, a lot of people also probably
I don't want thanks
they
either.
might not even put 2 and 2 together
True.
or kind of figure it out. And you gotta remember, there's also a lot of artists are very, I'd say 9 out of 10 artists is probably feels like they're underpaid and they should be getting more money.
Yeah, that's very true.
So there's a lot of that as well. But listen,
Alex coming up to me and saying that, though, I didn't know.
Well, let me take this opportunity to thank you.
I don't want thanks.
Well,
I love you, Doc.
Well,
Come on,
I'm
dude.
just saying it definitely has an impact, and especially I look back like in 2012, especially when Equilibrium came out, and you just blew up. Don't Tell Me What to Dream.
Oh,
that was like
we still play the shit out of that song. I love that. That's my favorite God Forbid song.
Yeah, that's from the last album, man.
That's my favorite God Forbid song. It's the best fucking one, dude. I still love hearing it on the radio. I love the beginning where it's just like super low and it just kicks in. Dude, that's the song. But yeah, that song probably made you the most money out of everything we played, for sure.
I know.
Yeah. Because you probably have a better percentage of that deal back in that time, and whatever the case is, or you owe whatever you owe, or you're making it all now. But
well, no, that it's its own. So basically, internet radio, it's like its own kind of purview.
Yeah.
So nothing touches it. It's just it exists. It's owed to you. So essentially, I remember when Sound Exchange first existed, And we essentially, they send you like a letter and you're like, you got to like register some stuff. And then we got at the time, we got a pretty big check because we had been accumulating money and you didn't even realize that you were.
Yeah.
But it's basically just publishing money, like songwriters royalties for internet.
Yeah.
For stuff that plays your music on the internet.
And we pay the most.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because we're a pay service.
Yeah.
So technically, if we have 35 million subscribers, they say 2 sets of ears per subscription, but just 35 million subscribers paying $20 a month, right? That's potentially 35 million people that can be listening to one particular song. If they were all tuned in a perfect world to one station, a lot of fucking people can hear that song. So that's how we pay out, versus a stream on streaming services. They pay nothing for a spin. Our spin can pay $1 or more.
Well, I don't think
just for a spin.
Streaming services don't count under the same.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't get money from that.
I think it's totally different.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
But I just know what we pay when we play a song, and then if so, because for example, like if you're picking up your whatever playlist you have, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, and you're picking out a song to listen to, that's just you listening to it.
Yeah.
But potentially, us playing God Forbid on Liquid Metal could potentially be heard by not just one person, but a lot of fucking people.
Do you know the numbers of like how many people listen to Liquid Metal?
No,
or
and I
Octane?
wish, but we can't because it's our satellites are only unidirectional. So we send the satellite signal from our satellite in space to your receiver in your car. So we don't have a signal that says, oh, somebody just switched to channel 37. But on internet listening, they do have those metrics. Mm-hmm. They don't share those with us because I can tell you why.
They don't want you to have the power. To know what you're worth.
Yes, that's exactly it, dude. Because they pay certain celebrities a lot of money to have a talk show or something, and there's nobody listening to it.
But it's not really. But it's so some of that. It's about kind of the stature of it and having that. And if you found out such and such show wasn't performing well, maybe then. It would offset things.
I'm glad that it's an even playing field. And we all know that Howard Stern's channels are the number one most listened to on SiriusXM. Number one. Music stations, Octane's one of the top ones. Hits 180s, The Highway, fucking Alt Nation, but Octane's been like fucking top 3 for fucking ever. Our social media is the fucking king as far as music stations go. You know what I mean? So we're doing our thing. Maybe Hits 1. I got a lot of little kids and shit, man. But Octane's, I'm proud of that. That's my baby. That's the station that I helped run since the very beginning, and it's become a fucking beast. And it's really cool that it's gotten heavier over time because back in the day, Octane was very different. It was more middle of the road, hard rock, radio rock, and any times that I would test it and do some heavy shit, it'd be like, oh my God, get this heavy shit off. Don't play it on here, or don't play those fucking female singers on this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Yeah.
They didn't like girl bands. They didn't fucking like anything heavy. And now, man.
I'm just hearing Killswitch on it, driving up here.
Oh, well, now it's adult. Now, dude, we're playing heavy shit on Octane and melodic stuff, but it's a really good balance. And I love it how North America, and especially our subscribers, our fans, have gotten super heavy with their musical taste. I mean, extreme times call for extreme music, man, and we're living in some extreme times right now, Doc Coyle.
Well, one thing I want to talk about real quick is just in general, you have a unique enthusiasm, all right, when it comes to the music and the culture and the lifestyle. And one thing I always try and implore is like, I feel like because people are cynical, right? People don't share your general positive energy. Like I said, the fuck you people in New York. And I think a lot of people think your vibe is like an act.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time.
And
Doc.
the thing I try and tell, like, if I can just tell people, this isn't even a question. This is me just telling people that it is 100% authentic. You eat it, you breathe it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Get into the Greek. I'm saying, I brush my teeth to fucking Slayer.
Yeah.
I fucking,
It's very true, Doc. And I've heard that comment.
But where does that come from?
I'm happy.
You're just happy. So are you?
It's a dream job, Doc. Yeah. It's dude, look at me.
Yeah.
I fucking love this music. I can't believe I get fucking paid to do this shit. I can't believe I've been here at the company for 20 fucking years. I can't believe any of this shit that has happened to me.
Did you at any point, because there was I know a lot of times when the big business part of it wasn't profitable and like there was before the merger and everything.
Yeah, it was
like,
scary.
Were you really worried that this wasn't gonna last?
I wasn't. Me, no. Everybody around me, yes.
Yeah.
Those people aren't there anymore. A lot of them. Yes, there was a lot of worry, but I was just blessed to be there. If it was gonna end then it was gonna end. But dude, I still couldn't believe what the fuck I was doing. Talking about heavy metal every single day. Going to shows, hosting festivals, giant fucking festivals. Becoming friends with my idols.
Yeah.
Like that's the fucking greatest gift of anything. So when I wake up in the morning, I gotta be on the radio at 8:00 in the morning. And I fucking wake up at 7:30 and, just do a little bit of shit. And then I'm on, right after 8. And it's
Are you on
like,
live or you tape? You tape at 8?
I'm on at 8 and I start at 8.
Okay.
So I can record in advance. I can do shit live. I can do shit seconds before it airs. I usually do the shit right before it airs. A lot of times I love that pressure and I love having that. It's live. I like doing it one fucking take and that's why I fuck up all the time.
Yeah. That's the thing. Part of the reason why I started a podcast, I was like, because I'm always assuming I'm going to, when your band ends, you always think like I'm always one step away from being jobless. So I'm like, so part of doing a podcast is just getting used to talking and broadcasting and reading ads and setting up a song or doing an outro for a song. And
you've been doing this a long time. You've always been good. Always been good on the radio with us, Doc, over the years. With God Forbid to Bad Wolves, you've always been pro, quick, funny. The length, the time to stop talking. I go in 1 minute spurts. My brain is like, I'm really good. 60 seconds, I'm good. That's how I talk. I'm talking 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday. I talk a lot. So, but my brain is like 60 seconds shut off, and I'm pretty good at that now. But yeah, dude, people say that all the time to me. He's not real. But the thing is, I see that less and less and less now. Yeah. Because of just
you've been around for a while, and people follow you.
Yeah, it's like really all these years I'm faking it. Every fucking day I'm faking it, dude. The reason why this is all it's just so natural. I don't prep. I don't do shit.
Well, what about your play? What about your actual playlist? Though?
Oh well, of course. Every day I'm studying metal.
Yeah,
I'm studying metal, but I'm not sitting there. Prepping for interviews for hours. Yeah. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Writing down things. Nah, just fucking talk.
It depends.
You do it so easy.
Well, it depends. Like for example, I just had Dave Lombardo on the show, which is a big deal for me. Yeah. So I literally listened to every fucking thing the guy ever recorded and for me, it's not like maybe I'll have a couple questions, but for me, it's generally like blocks of things. Like it's like, all right, I want to talk about Grip Incorporated.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Testament the Gathering.
Exactly.
I want to talk about Mr. Bungle, but it's not necessarily like, what did the Mr. Bungle album,
writing out your questions, exactly. Yeah, so bullet points, boom.
Yeah, just more bullet points. Or even with this, where it's not like you're an artist where it's like, I want to talk about this album, but even just driving up here, I'm just making mental notes of like, I'll just listen to music and I'll just think about our friendship.
Yeah.
And then I'll like, oh, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. And just kind of.
Well, that's the best way to do it.
But it's not the same as literally coming here, not thinking about it and just doing it. Because to me, it's all about an intentionality. And also, this from interviewing, is learning how to listen to people. And I mean, really, and allowing the conversation to be natural and be a tennis match of like, let me listen and respond and don't let a prepared kind of idea interrupt the natural flow of conversation.
Very good, Doc. Very good. That is exactly it. And you nailed it, man. It's just all about the flow. I remember one of my worst interviews ever at Sirius was with Zach Wilde back when he was drinking.
Yeah.
And he was...
Did he take over?
Yeah. Instant. I mean, I had 2 pages, maybe 2.5 pages of typed out questions in order of my fake interview with Zach. And right away I was like, and I read my question. He was like, what are you reading there? And then he kind of took it and he was like, and then he got on the piano and he started playing. He had his chains on. He had a fucking 12-pack of Becks. I was like, oh, well, Zach, what about it? He's like, oh, your stupid questions. I was like, oh my God. My boss was watching. It was fucking embarrassing. And then I learned very quickly.
Well, you got to go with the flow.
Yeah.
You have to adapt.
And I mean, Zach is a fucking extreme example.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Sometimes, even though you characterize it as a bad interview, quote unquote,
it was the best.
It could be a moment
it
that it's like, okay, here's this hurricane. And all I got to do is kind of like put up some shields to let's just put the hurricane down the path I want it to go down, and just kind of just be a part of the madness and let it happened.
I was so inexperienced back in that time, and every interview I still learn from. Every interview I still cringe from.
So I just was watching. You had Metallica on the Zoom call.
All 4 dudes,
which is insane.
Hey, I was one of the most nervous times of my life. It was all bosses, executives, Q Prime management, 100 SiriusXM winners, all these people watching.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. And there was a lot of meetings on it.
Do you have a relationship with them?
Oh, Metallica? I love them. Yes.
Personally, like you've been talking to them for years,
yes.
I imagine.
I think the first time that I knew that they were very cool with me was when James Hetfield in Rolling Stone magazine in 2008, that he did an interview. And it was one of those 1-page interviews that they do with artists like
a quick hit.
Yeah. And it was like a bunch of different various questions. And then one of the questions was, what are you listening to these days, James? And then he was like, there's this station on Sirius satellite radio called Heart Attack. And there's this DJ named Jose Mangin. And he is a ball of energy, a firecracker, so passionate about the music. I love listening to him and his station. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And then when I met him at Ozfest 2008 in Texas.
Oh, when King Diamond came out?
Yes, sir. They had a barbecue the night before Ozfest for the festival. And we were there. We were broadcasting live that weekend. And James was so fucking cool to me. Kirk Hammett came up to me and he was like, Jose, what's up, man? I'm like, like I never met him. I know you guys are in a band together, which is so cool, Doc. I'm so proud of you. But yeah, and then I said, hey, you want to smoke a joint? He was like, fuck yeah. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I think 2008 is when it really started with us. I did a lot of things with Metallica over the years, and hosting their shows for us.
Well, I love that you never get jaded, though, that it's always exciting, that it's always like, you always feel like, like the kid that snuck backstage,
Every time I'm in a situation like that, I feel exactly that way.
Yeah.
Dude, it's I can't believe it, but that's what the things, the people that say that I'm not real and the bands that say I'm not real and this is fake, then just ask Metallica. Ask bands that really know me and seen me over the years. And
I just know you. Like I said, let's go back to Jersey, for example. So he used to do these nights at Dingbats. And at the time, so I'm out of God Forbid, right? It's before I moved to LA, before Bad Wolves, and I'm literally like bartending at fucking Dingbats like one night a week. And I also lived pretty close. I lived in Jersey City. So I would just, I remember one time it was your birthday.
We jammed. You jammed.
So it was his fucking birthday and Thy Will Be Done was on stage. And I literally stopped in. I didn't know it was his birthday. I didn't know what was going on. I just literally stopped in and I come in. Jose's like, hey, dog, what's up? Here's a beer. Here's a shot. Go on stage. And next thing you know, I've been in the venue for literally 5 minutes. I'm already have a shot in my gullet.
Yeah.
And I'm on stage playing like Seek and Destroy. And I'm playing fucking, Rain and Blood and I'm Broken and shit. And I'm just like, what the hell? But that was just a random day. And this night that he would host, it was all local bands. It wasn't like there was, it was packed, sold out.
Dude, sometimes there'd be one person, dog.
Yeah. But one
fucking person.
But Jose would be back there. And the thing about fucking Dingbats, it got loud. in that fucking venue, right?
And never soap in the men's bathroom. I love you, Fred.
So he'd be back there just like blasting the heaviest shit and like headbanging. It's 2 a.m. He's got to get up in like an hour and a half.
Yep.
And like, so when there's, and I can't imagine you were making very much money doing that.
Nothing, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So there was just these things of like,
hours and hours and hours, and I made maybe like $60, $100.
But it was fun. But it was just fun. There's a vibe and there's an energy and there's like a very, the one thing I love about Dingbats and Freddie and the whole crew over there is just like it's a very family oriented vibe. They always would have, God forbid, there. And we would play there. It's not a big venue, but they treated us very well, and it was.
They were fans of the music too.
Yeah,
man.
and it's all community is one of the most important aspects of this whole thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was just about building the metal community in Jersey, one night at a time, with one person at a time. Dude, I would promote it and, have a pretty big audience, but then there would be 2 people that show up, dude. And it's just like, oh my God.
It's a struggle.
And it was embarrassing. But it was like I would get up there on the stage and introduce bands in front of sometimes the other bands that were going to play and nobody in the audience. But you know what? Doing those hundreds of times made me better at doing it in front of a lot of fucking people because it's scarier to do it in front of 2 fucking people in a quiet ass venue and it's just small and they're just looking at you like, shut the fuck up. Get off the stage. I want to see my boyfriend play, and you're trying to make those type of people smile and laugh on a Thursday night when they're pissed off. But then when you start to see the smiles on the 2 people's faces, you're like, okay. When you start to see them headbang in between songs, you're like, okay, then, this feels fucking good. And then there'd be a few more people. Doc would show up at 1:30, but it was just fun. But it was about building the community and about doing something. And I think at the time it helped the Jersey scene for a little bit. We having those local shows, local bands, sometimes it'd be packed, sometimes it'd be, nobody there.
So what about you? I mean, right now where we're not having live shows and you're like me where like you can't not be out at shows and seeing bands.
We'd always go to shows. Always.
Yeah. Like we would see each other sometimes 3 times a week, right? Out at shows in New York and then now out here. But I mean, how are you kind of like, how is you dealing with just not being able to go to shows? Is it just fucking you up? Are you like,
dude? I'm very blessed again to be able to just talk about this every day, and promote the bands and the music and the albums and the covers or whatever it is. So I'm still so entrenched in it. So I'm still getting my fix because I'm still fucking surrounded by metal, which is a beautiful thing, but.
With that energy, the sweat, the fucking lights.
As far as going to shows, yeah, man, it just makes you appreciate it so much more. I think it's gonna really, not necessarily for me, because I always appreciated going to shows. I always had a good time. I was never too prude to fucking headbang.
You throw shows here.
Oh, dude, that's what I miss the most is having the parties here, because I love being able, again, to build a community. You have people come over, but. I miss it, dude, but I look at it in a positive way. This is going to make it so much more special to us in the future, where I hope that every show is going to count for the people that are coming, the bands that are playing, the artists and musicians. It's going to fucking count, and we're going to appreciate it more.
You're behind the scenes, right? So you hear things, maybe that even I don't hear, or some other people. I mean, it seems like next spring, summer is kind of when things are going to start happening here. Do you think we're on track for that? I did see actually also Europe, like August Burns Red booked something for like December in Europe, which is, I'm like, is that going to happen? What?
Well, there's already stuff happening now here in the States.
The drive-through stuff.
Yes. The drive-in concerts. Cypress Hill is doing something this weekend here in California. They just announced Sully and
Aaron Lewis.
Danny Wimmer Presents are behind that. And they're going to do a month-long tour throughout the entire month of October. So just the other day on Octane, when I was talking about a show and a start date of a tour, it gave me flashbacks of talking about fucking shows every day on the radio. I haven't talked about dates and cities and shit for a long time. But it's happening now. What Metallica did at the drive-in theater, it wasn't a live concert, but was still bringing together on a Saturday night.
I went. It was great.
Oh my God. I went to the Montclair, California. Were you at the same theater? The Tiki drive-in? Yeah. What show did you go to? The 8 o'clock one?
Yeah.
We were there too. What screen were you? We were screen 3.
I don't even know which one, but we were basically between we just went to the far corner and we were pretty close to the one screen kind of by the highway. And but you could look to the turnaround and you could see a screen right behind you.
There was 4 screens at the place that Doc and I went to, but I really thought that was my first time being around so many metalheads.
But it felt like a show.
Yeah.
Like the energy, people hanging out and tailgate. It basically felt like you were like the show was at the tailgate party.
And that's what it gave me hope, dude. It made me fucking feel awesome to see all the Metallica shirts, all the heavy metal shirts, people fucking beeping their horns and yelling and singing and fucking clapping and stuff. And that was cool. And then just to see other shows happening, Cypress Hill doing these drive-in concerts right in our area, man. So I think it's good. But as far as a full-blown comeback, dude, it's gonna, I don't know, man. I saw that Germany did that one study at that concert recently. I don't know if the results are in. Remember where they had everybody censored up and they had a concert where everybody was there as part of a study and it was like a few thousand fans.
To see how it transmits?
Yeah.
Were they masked up?
They did a few different scenarios.
Gotcha.
They did a few different, with any good experiment, you have to have a few different scenarios to kind of see.
I didn't know, but I know Ginger was doing something. They were doing socially distanced shows in normal venues, like I guess where it's like maybe half capacity or third capacity
I think
coming up, but it was only 4 shows.
I think it can, Doc, and I think we can do stuff, but we got to be fucking smart about it. I mean, I like wearing my mask.
Yeah,
like I have a bunch of fucking masks. Your mask is fucking cool.
It's fashion.
It's cool. Yeah, it is. I miss seeing people's faces sometimes when I see people around here. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And then they're like, hey, Jose.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the fuck it is. And then they'll bring their face down. Like, oh, it's me. I was like, oh shit, dude, I'm sorry. Yeah. But I have a fucking Slayer mask. I have a cool Vote mask that I.
By the way, I don't think even when all this stuff dies down, I don't think people are going to stop wearing masks. I think people are going to be a lot more careful.
Yes, I am.
I
am, dude. I wear gloves when I go to the grocery store. When I go anywhere, I wear
like plastic, like
no, not plastic, not disposable ones, like workers' gloves.
Gotcha.
Like I have these cool black ones that toolbox kind of gloves, But I use those all. I keep them in my truck. I use them for pumping gas, dude. I'm a chemistry major. I'm a fucking science guy. I know how fucking germs spread, and it's easy. Bacteria is fucking everywhere.
See, we got real minds, so people should listen to you. Are you spreading the gospel?
I do, of course. I'm always. Are you
getting some pushback because there's a lot of people. It's very politicized.
I don't get so much pushback from the mask part of it. I get pushback for other stuff that I say.
Yeah.
BLM stuff,
Gotcha.
Just about like skin color and how fucking what the fuck.
Have you been talking about that stuff?
Oh yeah, of course, dude. Yeah. Since all, I have to, dog. Yeah. I had to use my voice.
Yeah.
Our subscribers, are down the middle.
Yeah,
I think.
I think the country is more. It's not as polarized as it is polarized, but I think if you were to talk to people as individuals, you would get a lot more reasonable takes than just the extremes.
What I say on the radio every day, Doc, is that we're all rock metal fans. We're a tight family.
Yeah.
We are. We take care of each other. We are fucking so cool with each other. When we're at a festival, nobody gives a fuck about what someone looks like. It's always, in my experience, been so fucking good and loving. It's when we leave the festival and leave the concert, that's when other shit comes in and it's like, oh, no, not that guy. But in a fucking pit, you're like, fuck yeah, dude.
But here's the thing. We've been away from everyone. Like, I think when you're seeing the world through your phone or through a YouTube page or through your Twitter feed, you're not really seeing the world. It's like a funhouse mirror. So you're seeing like this really distorted version of things. And you're seeing like, I was saying about this, like, if you ever watch like these negative political ads where they'll show like the person making a real jacked up face and they're like, such and such stabbed a baby in the face
while worshiping Satan,
and they, right? And I'm like, you could literally make like a political ad of like Michael Jordan just fucking up, right? Him like dribbling the ball off his foot and missing shots. I'm like, Michael Jordan has missed almost 10,000 shots. Why hasn't he shown up? So I think
look at him stumbling.
Yeah, and you could actually make a thing where it makes him look like he sucks at basketball, right? And I think that's what they're seeing, where you have like the greatest hits. We're seeing the opposite of that, but for like anything, right? So it's like, here's a bunch of cops whooping people's asses. Here's a bunch of people like being racist in public. Here's people looting, right? And so those are like the opposite of highlights. It's like the worst hits. And so if you just consume that all day, you're just like, oh yeah, the world is a mess. It's on fire and everything sucks and I hate everyone. If you consume that, you know what I'm saying? So it's and so we know, since we're not seeing each other in real life and we're not hanging out and we're not, it's like you can think the world's on fire, but if we went to a bar on a Friday night and we're just hanging out, we probably think everything was fine.
Yep.
To a certain degree, but we don't have that right now.
I'd like to say I really enjoy your social media commentary.
Oh, thank you.
Doc. I am on there and I see, a lot of what is happening and it fucking freaks me out.
It's scary.
But I do, at the end of the day, believe that there is more good. And I do believe that people do give a shit. And I do believe that we can make a difference.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep driving home, is that we can make a difference. We can fucking change this shit. It starts with you, starts with me, starts with that person over there and that person over there. But we can do it. So I try to be a positive voice. I especially talk about voting, and I especially talk about registering and how important local elections are, because people just think about the national election, which is super important. But the local level shit
affects you more.
Yes. And that's where the real change can happen. And what I also do is encourage our fans. Why don't you vote? I mean, why don't you run for office?
Yeah.
Why don't you run? Why don't you run? Why don't you do something?
I
thought about it. I want to do something.
Yeah.
I want to I don't know what I want. I want to do a lot of shit. I want to do good, Doc.
Well, most people, I'll be honest, I feel like a lot of people, I get annoyed at people who are just complainers, who are not like, okay, well, so if they suck, then why don't you run for office and show them how they should do it?
Yeah.
But they'd rather, it's easier. It's like being a backseat driver, Monday morning quarterback. It's easy to kind of criticize someone who's actually out there trying to do something. And it's difficult, when you're actually accountable and you have to be responsible for things, it can go a lot of different ways. But yeah, man, listen, I kind of oscillate between, I think, certain elements of cynicism or pessimism and being worried about the state of things. And even today, like I'm gonna say it here, but I was gonna post it where I'm like, you know what? I don't care who you vote for. I don't care. Like, I'm not gonna tell you I'll tell you my opinion, but I'm not gonna tell you should be like me. And if you disagree with me, I'm not going to let that be a reflection of like, I'm not going to be upset with you or think we can't be friends because we think differently. Like the most important thing to me is like finding a way to find common ground when all this shit is done.
And you know what it is for, I mean, at least for me and for you in a lot of ways, it's the music.
Well, yeah. Well,
this music, dude, my trademark, I'm the metal ambassador. And I want to bring people together.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we got to fucking get along first. And we do. And we do. I know there's a lot of people that tell me to shut up and play music all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, quit talking about your fucking, who cares, about what you believe and about fucking No Color and, fuck you playing police brutality songs and all this other stuff. And fuck that band Fever 333 and all that shit. People say that shit to me all the time. And that's why I push it even more.
Yeah.
And I talk about community, charity, and change. I talk about things that people probably don't want to hear when they're listening to rock music. But at the same time, my sister very passionately told me, you have to use your voice, brother. People listen to you. People respect you. And you should be saying shit. And I never did say shit before.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I felt like, especially with our audience, man, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you don't want to put your hand on the scale.
Yeah, but I couldn't anymore. I couldn't. This year I was like, you know what, man? I'm gonna kill them with kindness. I'm gonna be positive. I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm gonna be real uplifting, but I'm gonna do it in a positive way. And if they think I'm whatever, again, I just keep killing them with kindness, even negative comments or whatever it is. It's just, I don't respond, or I just little happy face, kissy face emoji or something. Like, I got to do something, man. And I really do believe that we can change this shit, man. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, and being, you know, you're a black dude, I'm a fucking Mexican fucking dude. It's scary sometimes, you know, but I know that we're going to fucking be good.
Well, I think that's why I don't know about you, you know, I never felt comfortable anywhere until I discovered heavy music, you know, and it was the first place where I was like, oh, this is my tribe. And it didn't have anything to do with identity, you know, and things like that. It was about a shared interest, shared values.
And that's why I think at the end of the day, like, I can get through these people and say, listen, we're fucking we're brothers and sisters. We're cool. When someone falls in a mosh pit, we pick them up.
But we're lucky though. I don't think other subcultures necessarily have that kind of connectivity. You know what I'm saying? Like, to many degrees, music is an escape, right? From your regular everyday issues and work and you know, depression, whatever people are dealing with. So it gets to be this refuge where you can put all that shit aside. And the way we contextualize that is through the live experiences. The one thing that makes rock and metal different from everything else is that when you take the live element of it, when you take the festivals away, you take the bar shows and all that, that is part of metal culture. And that's a big gap. Like, it's not like hip hop, they have live shows, they have, you know, but it's not the same. Like you could have artists that, you know, their live thing, it's not really what it's, people will go, but it's not really part of the culture as much. So it's just a different thing. And like I said, you have to look at situations like this in macro terms. You have to zoom out, because the truth is you're in the marathon and you can't speed up the marathon. And so you just have to kind of, you know, we're all like me. I don't know about you. I've had a couple meltdowns. I've had a couple, you know.
I've seen some of them. I was just talking to Mark Morton about this stuff too. I just did an interview with him, and we actually brought it up not in the interview.
Yeah.
At the end of our little Zoom thing, I was like, hey man, how you doing? You know what I mean? Because it's getting kind of crazy right now with everything and stuff, man. So it's getting a lot crazy.
Yeah. But I think you have to give yourself permission to have some meltdowns or some breakdowns in a time that's this stressful. Yeah. That it's like, it's expected. If you were completely normal and had nothing and didn't affect you, then you'd be probably a little weird.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, when all this shit's happening, how do I come on? I'm on 12 hours a day, Doc. Remember this, 5 days a fucking week. All the shit that's happening, some of the big fucking shit that's happened this year. Well, what do you do on the radio? Do you ignore it?
Yeah.
Do you, it is a refuge for people, but do I ignore it?
Yeah.
What do I do? Do I not address it?
Well, every piece of the media has had to figure this out, right? Like, you're on ESPN, you got to figure out, are we going to talk about politics? And they've kind of had to, because the players made it at the forefront, right?
I feel like I have to. I can't be, I'm so personal. I'm so open. I have no, I just fucking share everything, and I share my heart. I share what I feel. And I'm not holding back anymore.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And sometimes it's fucking really hard to be super like serious and emotional, and then here's Cannibal Corpse fucked with a knife. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little, you know, or God hates us all, Slayer. You know, there we go. You know, hey,
maybe those are the right songs.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes it does feel weird when I go into something, when I'm talking serious, and then I go into something fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but it's therapy. Music is a refuge, like you said, and I love it, man. It's I think it's what really brings us together, a lot of us, and I understand what you're saying about the live show not being there. That's hurting us. It is hurting us, so, man.
What do you think about just radio in general? And I don't know how connected you are to terrestrial radio and kind of how that's evolved. And clearly there's been some contraction in terms of markets that used to have, you know, terrestrial rock stations that don't anymore, like a lot of very big major markets. And, you know,
breaks my heart.
Yeah. I mean,
breaks my heart, man.
But listen, I think a lot of that is just how changing the way people are changing their media consumption and the market kind of responding to that. And that some of these things we can't necessarily expect it to just be the same forever, you know?
No, and I just feel like FM radio, man, I respect it. I love it. I am sad if a rock station goes away in a market. When Boston lost AAF, I was like, oh,
yeah, that's
fuck,
crazy,
man. That was such a huge station. One of my favorites is in Phoenix, KUPD, still very strong after all these decades. I think the best active rock station in the country, but we've lost a lot.
Do you think that's going to keep happening?
I think FM radio has to evolve.
Yeah. In what way?
Formats, they're so reliant on a small number of songs, the outdated rating system that's not accurate. People filling out diaries of what they're listening to, really? And people don't do that.
Yeah.
I think that it's about everything but the music. For what we're doing on our stations, it's all about the music. I don't have to worry about anything. It's a very unique situation, but I think more people...
Yeah, you can just play it. You can just, I like the song, I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
And the most radio stations can't do that.
No. And well, they also are programmed by a regional director who programs clusters or even company-wide ads.
It used to be like you could just get added on one station in like Seattle and then it would slowly spread.
But nowadays it's this is the one ad that is going into all of our radio stations all across the country.
So who owns isn't there like one or two companies that own most of the radio stations?
I mean, yeah, there's a few.
Yeah.
Entercom, Cumulus, iHeartMedia. You know, there's a lot of independents. There's probably others I'm not even remembering right now. But, you know, there's talk about Liberty Media, which owns SiriusXM, buying iHeartMedia.
Wow.
You know, we own Pandora. We own SoundCloud. We own Stitcher. And now we're probably going to get iHeartMedia, which is fucking
huge.
We're the largest audio entertainment company in the world right now. SiriusXM Pandora, largest.
So your job is safe.
Dude, this is my 20th anniversary on Sunday, man. I've been there longer than anybody, man. But FM radio, I think it's not about the music, man, and you can feel it. And when stations that are so popular, so loved, just go away just like that overnight, then it's just like there is not a lot of hope. Do I think more active rock stations are going to pop up? No. I think rock stations, hybrid of rock stations from like Motley Crue to Metallica and Zeppelin and Korn and stuff. Yeah, I think it'll be a mix of mainstream and active. Maybe some more of those stations. I'm in Chicago, I think, just got a new rock station that was in that type of format.
Well, I mean, we have people like, you know, Post Malone, who I think is like really is like a bridge figure.
Oh, well,
you know,
I love those type of characters. So you want to talk about collaborations within the outside world of rock and metal. Dude, I push for that shit all the time. I challenge bands. Come on, motherfuckers. Come up with a mariachi, hard rock, radio rock blend. Let's do this shit. Where's the Latino in rock? Where is it, Doc? There are more Latinos in the fucking United States than there are anybody else. But there is no representation of their culture, their sound on any radio except for Latino radio.
Yeah, but Latino radio is massive.
Okay, and yeah,
you turn on the radio like in New Jersey and in California, that's half the radio stations.
Well, because fucking they know better. But I'm just thinking like we should have more artists collaborating with hip hop artists, more artists groups collaborating with country, Mexican regional bands, salsa singers, you know. Latino pop stars. We need to bring it together. That's exactly how we're going to make this shit bigger, is if we invite more people to the party. We keep inviting the same people to the party, we're never going to grow.
Of course.
We have to. Post Malone is a great example. He's a huge metalhead. I love the fucking guy. I haven't met him, but I can't wait to fucking meet him. He's got a dime bag tattoo on his hand. I got a big dime bag tattoo on my leg. I got a couple of Pantera tattoos. So, yeah, dude, Post Malone's a great example. What I Prevail did with Joyner Lucas is fucking awesome. Look at Corey and Tech Nine and Kid Buki. Korn with fucking
Yellow Wolf.
You know, and even Hyro the Hero teaming up with David Draymond and shit. Like, we got to keep getting this stuff to expand. And that's how we're going to bring it together. And I see rap and metal happening more, which is good. It should happen. It should happen more. I'm surprised that it's not happening more.
Well, I think it's more about to me, it's not just style, it's about generational shifts, right? If you look at the thrust of the bigger rock and metal bands, it's an older audience. It's an above 35 audience. And the difference culturally is hip hop, pop is more oriented towards young people. And if you're going to keep rock music kind of fresh and constantly growing, you have to kind of find a way to connect with young people. Yeah. And ultimately, to do that, you need young bands to do it. It's like, I'm not going to do it. It's got to be the next kids coming up who kind of understand that. And hopefully, and I think that's a tough thing to do, but we as a scene too also have to be open-minded, because, metalheads are kind of notoriously closed-minded,
It's changing.
Yeah.
I feel it changing. And again, if we can do anything on my stations on SiriusXM, we're going to keep pushing that diverse sound of rock and keep supporting bands like that and songs like that more than any other outlet out there, because we can drive that message home. We can.
Yeah.
We can do that. And I played you. There was this one band from Mexico City called Cerberus, and they have a song called Tequila, but it's like mariachi and heavy metal. And it's fucking so cool. And I played the shit out of it, and it stands out. But people are like, what the fuck is that? But then it's like, wow, that's different. So we can grow. We just got to be smart about it, Dude, I have like kind of like a thing that I don't know if I dream about, but it's a goal of mine. I want to be Simon Cowell.
Yeah.
I want to put together an awesome hard rock
contest.
Melodic metal Mexican or Latino band.
Oh, like a Menudo,
but rock. You know what I'm saying? Like get a good looking, talented young singer. Get equally talented bass guitar drummer. Get some percussion, some horns.
Make like a Mexican baby metal.
Way better. I'm not a big fan.
No, but I'm saying, but that baby metal's like kind of put together. Like
I mean, Linkin Park was kind of put together too.
Yeah.
By producers and people and stuff like that. So A&R guys. So I want to do that, dude, because there's nothing like that. But imagine how many fucking brown dudes and chicks would be like, oh my God, there's like Spanish on the radio now. You know what I mean? Like, dude, we're still missing the boat. We're slowly evolving. But I sometimes I do want to kick it into overdrive and make it go faster.
Well, I want to talk about that real quick. And by the way, thank you for your time. I don't want to keep you too much longer.
It's all good, man. It's all good, Doc.
I just want to kind of talk about.
Do you want another Coors? Are you all right?
Yeah, let's do another one.
Okay, I'll get one. Keep what?
So I'll hold it down now. He's walking over to his Marshall fridge, which I was talking to the girlfriend about. I was like, yo, we need a little fridge in here. And the Marshall ones are like mad expensive. I'm like, I need to like get hooked up. I need to call someone at Marshall, see if they hook me up. I
love this fridge, dude.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's kind of hidden so people don't know that I have shit in there, which is pretty cool sometimes, because I open it up and they'll be like, whoa. So what the fuck is that?
What I wanted to, ask you about, and this is a key theme with my show, is really giving listeners who are, because like I said, not everyone's a musician. There's some people who are interested in the music business from different angles, whether that's being involved in promotion or record labels or booking agencies, managing bands, working on tour with bands. And one of the things to me about you that is so impressive is you're just generally an ambitious person who is constantly not limiting themselves about what they can do and what they achieve. So like right now we're in the Affliction building, and you run your studio out of here, but you have this partnership with Affliction. Like what exactly do you do for Affliction, and how did that come about?
I've been a massive fan of Affliction. It started 2006. My wife Melissa, who says hi, by the way.
Yes, you have the most picturesque, beautiful family of all time. It's not fair. I don't know how you do it. So he works 27 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? He still, he sleeps -5 hours, still is able to have some beers with the guys. I don't know how he does it.
Dude.
Still looks good. It's not fair.
Very underlined, stress bowl type. Blessed is far beyond blessed. I love using.
Are you using your pharmacy background to like make a compound that makes you superhuman? Are you on like the
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. It's this life, man.
Yeah.
I love my girls. I love fucking the music. I love my company. You know what I mean? I love Affliction. They've been so loyal to me. I've been very loyal to them. 2006, Melissa bought me my first Affliction shirt. My second one I wore during an interview with Ancla. And speaking of Latin metal, Ancla was the guitar player from Puya, my all-time favorite Latin metal band.
I remember I saw Puya on Snowcore
at New Jersey at the convention center.
Yeah, with
I was there.
Mr. Bungle,
System of a Down,
Incubus.
Yeah, nice. I was at that fucking show. I saw you there. So
it's probably before we knew each other, actually.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, maybe I was already a fan of God Forbid. So and so fucking wait, what was the question? Oh,
just about how did everything with Affliction come together? And
so I was wearing an Affliction shirt during my interview with Ancla. Tony Castañeda, a friend of ours, he's bass player in King. He was for many years. After the interview, he was like, "Hey, my sister went to school with the vice president of Affliction because Tony's from this area here in Orange County, California, and we were in New York City at the time." He's like, "My sister knows the vice president. You guys should connect." Because at the time, I hosted a TV show that was on all over the country called Latin Nation. It was a Latino news entertainment show that I hosted throughout the years with 2 or 3 different girls. But I hosted it for 8 years. So I was on TV in LA, New York, all over the place for a half hour. So my friend was thinking "Hey, you should get hooked up with Affliction because you're a TV show and what you're doing here." So I reached out and I talked to this dude and he was really cool. He started sending me boxes of clothes. I was like, oh shit. And then at one point, a few months in or so, he started asking me "Hey, do you know Jamie Jasta from Hatebreed? Or do you know guys from Lamb of God? Or hey, do you know this?" And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I know. And it's hey, can you give me? So I would help them get in contact with these musicians. So I did that for a few years.
Like an artist liaison.
Yes. But just getting free clothes. And then after some people changes, management changes, owner changes, then a dear friend of mine who now, at the time, he was still the owner, called me in when I was visiting California, probably in the 2010s, somewhere 2012. He was like, "Hey, we want to hire you to be to just dress musicians, dress celebrities, and just keep wearing our clothes and just hook up whoever you want with our clothes." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And they're like, "Yeah, we want to pay you." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I would do it for free." I was already doing it for free. And so they started, that's when I started working for Affliction. And then a few years after, that's when they said, "Hey, why don't you ever think about moving to California?" I was like, "Oh, fucking, I dream about it all the time." And they were like, "Well, why don't you come?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, my wife, I can't. We're Jersey. We have a house. We have everything's here." And then they were like, "All right, we'll come out." And then we didn't. And then they made another offer. And then they said, "We'll build you a studio. We'll build you a stage. Do everything you do, but just do it next to us."
Yeah.
And just do it.
That's literally it's almost like you couldn't dream up anything better. This is basically the best clubhouse man cave ever created.
It's beautiful. It's 2 stories. There's my broadcast studio's here. It's open space, great acoustic paneling. I have a stage here. We can.
And the storefront. It's not open right now, but it was.
No, it's open right now. Somebody's just walking in.
Oh, it is open.
And April's back there, but it's only open for people that come in through the front and they get escorted back. So it's not really a public thing, but it is. But there's a
this is
store
where the
attached
warehouse
to,
is as well.
Yeah, this is the headquarters. So
Gotcha.
this is where a lot of stuff is here. Design, owners, everything is based out of here. Sullen Clothing. We have several different brands underneath Contravisual, which is the brand umbrella company. But Affliction. So so then I moved my family out to Costa Mesa, California to be here. And I told my bosses at SiriusXM, "Hey, I'm going to go to California, but I'm going to do everything that I'm doing still. And I hope nothing changes." And they were like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh, wow." And then Melissa had to quit her job to come out here. And that was a big move, dude.
Yeah, that's
because,
tough.
oh, dude, she was a fucking boss. And she quit.
Was she able to kind of manifest it into something else?
A few months after moving here, she ended up working with that same company again, but she didn't like it. And then after that, she has the job that she currently has, and she runs Orange County and some of South LA County Victoria's Secret Pink stores.
Oh, wow.
She's the head of all of them. So she runs.
I feel like the real people, it's maybe they'll miss a job for a little bit. They always land back, on top of their stuff.
She's the fucking top of her game, dude.
Yeah.
She's one of the top. She's platinum for Victoria's Secret, the company wide, the fucking main president.
Power couple.
Dude, she's the most beautiful employee at the company and runs the shit like nobody else's fucking business. So she's not going anywhere. But so that's Affliction. Made this thing here, and they just been so supportive of me. I love the clothes. I've always loved the clothes. I wouldn't get involved with something that I didn't love. And I'm super loyal. I've been married 19 years, with SiriusXM 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, I've been with Affliction since 2006. Like, fuck.
But you still seem like someone who is able to do what they want. Like, you're not like limited. You know, it seems like you're always like, you're on this cruise and you're hosting this, or like you're flying out for this festival.
The mega cruise was so cool. I love, dude. Yeah, some of my favorite stuff is hosting festivals, and I miss doing that. My favorite part about doing that is meeting subscribers, meeting fans. That's my favorite. I've met all the bands. I know all the groups. I've met pretty much everybody I've ever wanted to ever meet. But the fans, the people that I've never met, you know, the ones that listen every day, the ones that are so fucking stoked to have a drink and smoke a joint or something, you know, that's my favorite. And that's what I miss the most. But yeah, dude, Affliction has been super awesome with me. And I just love them, man. I love that, you know, yeah, I can do what I want to do. I have a cool schedule.
I just feel like you're someone who you don't limit yourself. You're like constantly like believing you can do bigger, you can do better, you can do more. And
that's how you have to do it, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm 20 years into SiriusXM, but I feel like I'm just getting started kind of in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I feel like as far as like even just outside of this world, like television and things, I feel like I have so much to offer, but I'm not being taken advantage of. Like, somebody make money from me. You know what I mean?
Did you ever get an offer to do Headbangers Ball?
Yeah, I hosted it.
You did host it?
Yeah,
okay.
I did. Yeah, I hosted it. I did the 20th anniversary of the Headbangers Ball Roundtable with Dee Snider, Jamie Josta, and Ricky Rackman. And at that
Adam Curry?
special, no, I know, with his leather tassel jacket. I did it at Duff's in Brooklyn. Shout out to Jimmy.
How did I miss this? I'm an idiot.
It was 2008 when we did this special. And that's when all three guys handed me the baton. They were like, if anybody's going to fucking do the show, you're going to be the fucking...
Yeah, like, why isn't it even just on YouTube or something?
Well, I did specials on MTV too for a little bit, and then it was an online show only. And I had to beg them, Doc, to do that.
Yeah, but you can have a YouTube show that has millions of... the YouTube can be as big as anything.
You're talking about me personally now?
Or just any... I'm just fascinated, like that property means something.
Well, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm old, dude, and that Headbangers Ball, like I said in the beginning of this, it was what I looked to aspire to be.
Yeah,
because I had no other role model. I did it. Yeah, I didn't have any other role model though. You know what I mean? Like, for what I wanted to do is be a messenger of metal, but I didn't know what kind of messenger. I didn't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But yeah, dude, I always want to do stuff. I still feel like I have so much to offer. I want to do a cool motivational book, you know, about my my life, but also make it motivational, especially for you know, young Latinos who are like, you know, I don't know what the fuck, and it's like, no, dude, you can do shit. I mean, if it wasn't for my schooling, again, dude, I got full ride scholarship to University of Arizona.
That's awesome.
Like, dude, that's the confidence building shit that lays the fucking foundation for what I'm doing today.
Well, it just seems like for some reason, your energy, you're kind of able to manifest the things that you want without directly like, I'm going to do that. Or it's like you sat there and said, I'm going to be an artist rep for Affliction and I'm going to move out to LA and have a studio. Like, you just kind of do you do your thing and you put the energy out and then it kind of comes to you.
That everything that I've ever gotten, Doc, every major fucking awesome thing has come organically.
Yeah.
You're
not a tryhard. In that like where you're like, I need it. You're not desperate.
No, well, when I was talking to Sirius in the beginning, when I was trying, I was fucking so desperate.
Well, except for that.
But everything else, dude, like hosting Headbangers, hosting the Mega Cruise and the Ozfest and the Not Fests and all the different Danny Wimmer festivals. You know, just the other day I was on the Howard Stern show for over an hour with Lars and that. Howard. Dude, but that happened.
Have you ever been on there?
Yes, but not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that. And
I need to watch that.
Oh, dude, it was a career life highlight.
Do you have a relationship with Howard at
Yes. He called me.
Yeah.
He called me, Doc. He called me. So I was on for over like an hour and 15 minutes. But this happened at 3:35 in the morning. And I was by 4:01 in the morning, I was on with Howard. So organic, talk about organic, dude.
You know Howard helped break Brad Wolves, right?
I remember when he played the music. Yes, I do.
That literally, it went number one on the rock charts like the day after he played
Howard played it, and then we also didn't Hits One play it, and Octane played it. I think Hits One played it for a second.
Well,
yes,
yeah, but it was the idea. It was the fact that he not only played it but talked about it and had a whole segment on it.
He's
blew
the best,
it. That helped break Zombie.
I owe him everything, and I made sure I've told him that before, but I think now he's a little older, and I think he feels and he saw my face, my sincerity when I was talking to him. Because when he came to Sirius in 2004, announced it, but he started in 2006, changed my life professionally and personally forever. So, but just organic, dude. I was on that show, but everything happens organic. And Sharon Osbourne, I asked her years ago. I asked her to manage me. It was a bold fucking ask, but I had to fucking swing. I swing a lot, and I swing a lot and miss, Doc. I swing. I write fucking requests, and I want to be a part of things and do things sometimes, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do have to try to do some shit. I'll just fucking Hail Mary passes sometimes too. But
you're not just Forrest Gumping it through life.
No, man, I am. But Sharon gave me some advice, and I'd like to share this with your fans. I said, Sharon, manager. She's like, oh, Jose, I'm so busy, this. And she was so cool, but she was like, what you need to do is you need to think about something every single day. You need to think about something and do every little step to get to that goal. You manifest it. You think about it every day. Talk about it. Write it down. And she was like, every day, think about it. Manifest your destiny. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what, dude? But I fucking do that.
Yeah.
I do it.
It's great advice.
I do it, and I do it, and I talk about it, and I think about it, and I do it every single day. I manifest that one of my daughters is gonna fucking marry Ty Trujillo, Robert Trujillo's son. Every fucking day, Doc Coyle. Yes, you can. That. Shut up. You can manifest anything. And I fucking, every day I'm like, come on, Ty, just like one of them. They're both beautiful. They're both smart. Come on, Ty, come on. So even right now talking about this, there's a lot of other people that are thinking about this right now at this very moment. They're helping me fucking put that shit out into the fucking world.
That's hilarious.
So, but manifest it. It's true. I still have a lot to do, Doc. I want to do good.
Yeah.
I really have something in my heart in my soul right now that's energizing me to give back.
Yeah. Well,
I want to start a scholarship fund for Latinos or poor people, poor smart kids that love metal, that want to go into the medical field, sciences. I want to give them money to fucking go to school and give them that fucking confidence boost that I got from applying for all these scholarships, dude. I want to help encourage people to fucking be good to all fucking colors, all skin fucking. Please, if I can keep being a voice for that, I want to do good. Though I'm getting older, and I feel like I need to do more.
Yeah.
Well,
I can at least say with my life, you've, like with Bad Wolves, I mean, so many things you did for this band have been instrumental for the success we've had. I mean, you playing Learn to Live out the gate, and you were like sharing with the numbers with us, like, yo, this shit's kind of blowing up. People are going crazy. Their requests
awesome song,
were off the chart. And then when we got our record deal, the first Bad Wolves show ever was for Jose's night that he was doing at
the Observatory
in
Santa Ana, California.
And that was basically, we got our record deal right after that show. And then we didn't play again for literally a whole another year to our second show, which was your and Tommy's birthday party here. And that was kind of like the kickoff show of our whole album cycle. And I feel like you're such a booster. There's bands, I've heard about, whether it's like Moontooth or, painted wives that
12-foot ninja too, man. You had fucking Stevik on. I love that.
Yeah, he's fucking great.
I needed to mention that. That was really cool that you had him on.
But you're all these bands out there that are trying to get ahead. You're definitely someone who is able to kind of put that kind of their foot on the their hand on the lever a little bit to just help give us a little bit of push that makes things happen. And it's a big deal, man. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Doc. I love that, man. I love helping out bands. I can't help all of them. There's so many bands.
I'm sure you get, dude. You get punished probably more than anyone, right?
I get a lot of,
I've punished you.
No, you have not, dude. I get a lot of emails, texts, comments, messages.
Play this band, play this song.
Play this. It's always something. Yeah. Like no one says, "Hey, let me fucking buy you some chicken nuggets, Jose." Yeah. You know what I mean? It's always like a want, and I get it, but it's nonstop, dude. Yeah, I can sometimes imagine. It's not sometimes. It is overwhelming, but I can't play everything.
Of course.
But the bands that I do play, and we can play anything. I really do want to get behind. For example, Tetrock. Look at Tetrock. We've been playing their music for years. Nobody gave a shit really about them on a national level, but we kept on playing them, and I fucking loved their spirit and how cool they were and how hardworking they were and just good positive energy, very loving, humble. I was like, I'm going to fucking help this fucking band, and I'm going to play them more.
They're having some traction.
They fucking got a global record deal with Napalm Records after all these years of playing their music, and now they're even getting played on active radio stations now. So that's a great band. Spirit Box. I just did an interview with Courtney LaPlante, singer, very talented from Spirit Box out of Canada. They're right now number 1 on the Devil's Dozen with Holy Roller, song on Liquid Metal.
All right, gotcha.
And very talented. She's married to the guitar player. She used to be in I Wrestled a Bear once.
Okay.
But they're a small band, and they live in this little island off of Vancouver. And I just did an interview with her yesterday for Liquid Metal. And she, at the end of the interview, I was like, "Oh, thanks, Courtney." I was like wrapping it up, saying bye. And then she said, "Hey, Jose, can I say something?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You took a chance on, you playing our music, you doing all the number 1 on the Devil's Dozen for all these weeks in a row. Like our parents and family don't even care about our band. Like they think it's a little tiny band, and we're in this little island, and nobody gives a shit about anything. But now all of a sudden, like you changed our life, like you changed our career." And I could see her emotion in her face, and it was getting me emotional. I was like, "Oh fuck, don't fucking cry, Jose," But she was getting super emo, and and then she was just saying thank you. And it felt fucking awesome because I want to pay it forward. I want to do good. I want to help bands. I can't help everybody, but the bands that I do help, and I feel real fucking passionately about, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking help this band now and focus. Because if I tried to help 30 fucking bands, it's not going to really fucking go anywhere.
Yeah.
It really won't. It'll just get lost. People's attention spans are fucking short.
You can only do so much, and it's, and it's a shame there aren't, like I said, back in the day where there were more independent stations where a band could break out in a local area and stuff. And so, unfortunately, there's only a handful of people that have some ability to give exposure. Even me, like if I post about a band, that's going to matter to someone. If I play a band on my show, a certain amount of people are at least going to get some exposure, and you have to try and at least spread that as much as you
Feels good to pay it forward, Doc. I love it, man. I just want to keep doing good and bringing people together with this fucking music, which has saved my life, dude. I think I'm going to get a fucking tattoo soon on my stomach, dude. I'm going to go there. I'm going to get the word metal tattooed on my fucking stomach, Doc. It's going to be fucking, but I'm going to get it in some really cool, I think this dude, his name is Big Sleep, famous tattoo artist in LA. I'm going to get some fucking cool lettering. But dude, metal changed my fucking life, dude. Metal introduced me to my wife. Metal made my kids fucking happen. Metal made the house fucking happen. I owe a lot to the music, man. So
right on.
I ain't done.
Well, listen, thank you so much for taking time to be on the show. This has been amazing, and I love you.
Thanks.
And it's always great to see you. Like I said, most of my shows I've been doing on Zoom and Skype. Yeah,
this is in real life.
But I try and do them in person if I can, despite the fact that I know that we're all trying to be safe and all that stuff. But I miss looking someone in the eye and
cool.
and doing a show. But thank you so much. This was incredible.
Thanks for having all the awesome artists and friends on your show over the years, man. I'm proud of you, Doc, for doing what you're doing, man. You were one of the very first dudes to start doing shit like this, man. And now it seems like every fucking buddy has a podcast, especially now.
Yeah.
But you were an OG for this shit, and I respect what you're doing on the socials as well. Keep talking for us, man. You're doing good. I'm gonna keep talking for us as well. And yeah, dude, I'm sure you guys are already working on album number 5 from Bad Fucking Wolves. I know 3, but
well, technically, we'll probably have a covers record and we'll have a new record, so maybe that'll be 4 records.
There you go, man.
Well, we're hard at work and it's gonna be sick.
We got your back, and I know we're playing the shit out of Learn to Walk Again on Octane, so I talk about it every day, man. So
right on. Well, thank you, brother.
Fuck yeah, Doc. Cool. Come on.
Cheers.
So that was Spirit Adrift with the opening track from their new album, Enlightened in Eternity. And it's called Ride Into the Light. That's just a new record I've personally been enjoying. And I was thinking about what to play. And so I just checked out the Sirius Liquid Metal page, and it was a record that they were like pushing. So I'm like, you know what? Let's put that on there. It's a fun record, kind of feels old school, but has some new energy to it, and it's invigorating. It'd be a cool. They just got on the cover of Decibel. That's what it is. And anyway, really want to support that band. I just love good, cool new music. Check it out. Support them. Hope you enjoyed my conversation with Jose. I love Jose. He's the greatest, and it was really nice to just see him. You know, I mean, how many people are we just not seeing? I guess I don't know. I guess are a lot of people probably just going on with their lives. I know speaking of COVID from before, the numbers are kind of going through the roof. I think a lot of that is people are just the fatigue. You know, they're just like, you know what, fuck it. A lot of fuck it moments. So I wonder if people are actually out there kind of living their lives. It's just me stuck at home. But we have 1 week before the election. So hope you guys are coping all right. In many ways, we could say, hey, 1 week till either you can breathe again or you kill yourself, depending on which side you're on. I don't mean to make light of that, but I think the stress is palpable for some people. So, you know, find whichever coping mechanism works well for you. I feel like I'm disappointed. I haven't been watching the World Series. It looks like a great one. And, you know, so basketball's ended for me, so I don't have that. But I have been, you know, dealing with the sickness. I've been, you know, when you're stuck in one place, it kind of allows you to indulge in my movie watching habit. So I've been really watching a lot of cool stuff. And I never watched First Blood, the original Rambo, all the way through before. So good. You know, I got Back to the Future on 4K. The box set, it's sick. That's been really fun. And guys, I gotta tell you about this documentary called The Phenomenon. And it's basically the most legit documentary ever about UFOs, because all the information on it is from government officials, military officials, pilots, engineers, scientists, and even when there's accounts from normal people, there's evidence. They'll have pictures, they'll have radar, so the video and stuff that's very credible. And it also goes back in the history and shows how while Project Blue Book was happening, essentially following UFOs was actually fairly mainstream. So anytime there'd be an event, it would be covered in all the local newspapers as just normal news. And basically when Project Blue Book got shut down, I believe in the late 70s. I hope I have my numbers right there. Maybe in the 90s. All right, maybe I'm screwing it all up. Maybe in the 90s when it got reopened. Anyway, it's just super credible, and I love alien shit, and I believe they're real, and I feel like there's the evidence is overwhelming. Like, it's actually kind of ridiculous. We're pretending it's not. So just watch this thing called The Phenomenon. I rented it on Amazon, but it's great and gets me excited. And for some reason, that's one of the things that makes me, like, I get amped up, because to know that there's something kind of, I guess maybe it's probably how people who feel about who are religious, right? They're like something bigger than ourselves, but it feels that way to someone like me, because it's like, I don't know. I was thinking about, you kind of think about like what shapes your worldview, or like what you really think about things. And me, I think, part of the reason I have like very pacifistic type of mentality and like a non-aggression way of looking at the world is that it feels very primitive to me. Like I was thinking about this. I was like, so this idea, like, what if you got rid of all the guns, right? And you're like, oh, the world would be safer. But then the motherfucker with the knife all of a sudden becomes the big dog. Or right? Like if I'm bigger than you, I just whoop your ass and take your shit because there's no, but a gun actually makes it so that a small person, a weak person can like defend themselves. So it's this weird way, it's this equalizer. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, no, what bothers me about the whole thing is that people feel like they need a gun because they don't trust each other, because we're so worried about aggression from other human beings that we feel like we need to protect ourselves all the time. And that's a really sad thing, right? Like it would be better if we lived in a world where people just were like, nah, people are cool. We're like, why would another person hurt another person unless they were, you know? And so and the reason why I relate that to aliens is because it's this idea, you know, that there's a place to evolve to that's away from these like ridiculous petty things. Like, why are we still killing each other? Why are we still blowing each other up? It makes no sense. Like we're like cavemen who like figured out, you know, the combustion engine and figured out how to fly and figured out how to go to the moon, but we figured out how to build nuclear bombs, but we don't have the wherewithal to actually understand it. We're still stuck in this outdated mentality, you know, which is, you know, that everyone's coming for us, and scarcity mentality, the hoarder mentality. If I need to keep this, because if I don't, then they're gonna come take it. And I just think it's outdated, and I probably won't live long enough. Well, not probably. I'll say definitely. I won't live long enough to see humanity evolve past that point, which is why all our literature and films and stories have these doomsday prophecies, because we see that cyclically we destroy ourselves. And so when we see how we act now, the way we predict the future is saying, hey, this ain't gonna work out because we're broken. You know, and hell, we even put that on the alien myth, right? Like either it's ET and they're benevolent, or it's Independence Day and they're coming to kill us, you know. But that's all projection, right? That's all seeing the world black and white. Either it's an angel or it's a devil. The truth is they're probably just, they're here, but they're not putting their finger on the scale. It's an interesting thing. I don't know. I probably went a little too deep with that. Got a little too spacey, but it makes me excited to think that could exist, because it means there's a better place to go and a bigger place to go, and that there's like something beyond, you know. And I don't mean that in a spiritual way. I mean that kind of in a really tangible, physical way of like, you solve these problems, then abundance is at the tip of your finger, you know. Or there's maybe a species that's figured certain things out, that we've literally fired weapons at these crafts and they don't obliterate us, you know. And they could, but they have actually fucked with our nuclear sites, which is actually really strange. Anyway, watch it. It's called The Phenomenon. It was great. One week I still have my ballot. I haven't filled it out. I have to do all this research, so I will conjure some energy and fill out my ballot and drop it off. Vote. I won't tell you who to vote for. Doesn't, you know, I don't think anyone would care anyway. Hey, vote for this person. You don't give a fuck. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. Do your own research, but vote. You know, it's really important, and that's all I can really say. But I'm trying to get Phil Anselmo. I'm trying to get Phil Labonte back on the show to do an election special for this year, like we did in 2016. So that would hopefully, I'm just waiting to hear back from him, but I would hopefully do it on the Monday and then release it on election day, or maybe we can see if we can live stream. I don't know. I think that would be cool too. So let me see if we can figure that out. And another thing, the last episode with Dave Lombardo is my biggest show I've ever done by far, like by double, because it got picked up. And I didn't even realize this. The part of the story got picked up by Metal Injection and Loudwire and Metal Sucks. So I guess it moved the needle. So thank you to those websites for picking it up and making the show get to new heights. It's really exciting. We have some great shows coming up. I just spoke to Doug Pinnick from King's X. So that'll be coming out soon. And I just scheduled another show with another great guest. So things are looking up. You guys be well. You be safe. Do your best to stay sane. I do this breathing thing on the Apple Watch. One more time.